Have you ever been worried about your weight? Maybe you gained some pounds during your first year of college, or even got really obsessed about getting that chubby body ready for long days on the beach. Well, I'm here to tell you that humans are not the only ones that struggle to stay slim. Animals can have the same problem, and when it happens, we get some unusually looking animal. Number 10. Bandit. A raccoon named Bandit is the 10th animal on our list. His chubbiness is due to a thyroid complication he developed at birth. For those who do not know, the thyroid is a gland that balances body growth, whether on humans or in animals. Bandit grew up with a group of dogs and was later adopted by a Pennsylvania woman who mainly fed him with his favorite foods that included chips and French fries. By the year 1999, Bandit's weight rose to 23.8 kilos. 2 years later, he weighed 29.2 kilos, which is about 5 times bigger than that of any regular raccoon. Bandit rose in global prominence when he got a spot in a 1999 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records as the fattest raccoon ever. Bandit became a celebrity and was featured as a guest in plenty of major media outlets in the UK, such as the Food Network. In 2004, the raccoon reached a weight of 34 kilos and started exhibiting signs of cancer. He was finally put to sleep that year to avoid further suffering. Number 9. Holly the Bear. Every year during the summer, people gather to celebrate Fat Bear Week at the Katmai National Park in Alaska. During this event, employees of the park ask visitors to vote for the bear that has become the fattest over the summer. And far from being a body-shaming event, the park claims that this is a celebration of life, as large amounts of body fat in brown bears indicates good health and is a strong pointer towards the possibility of their survival over winter. The most recent winner is a bear named Holly, and you'd be surprised at how quickly this beautiful bear gained a significant amount of weight in just a couple of months. The park introduced Holly as a fabulous bear whose unusual weight would help her hibernate until the spring. At an estimated weight of 1,000 pounds, she's so big that her belly literally drags along the ground. Whereas, if she were only about 700 pounds, which is the average weight of an adult brown bear, her stomach wouldn't be so saggy. Number 8. Uncle Fatty. For the unenlightened, Uncle Fatty was the name given to a long-tailed macaque who was put on a strict diet in 2017 by animal workers after his weight ballooned to 33 pounds, twice the average for his species. Uncle Fatty's astronomical weight gain was largely due to his close proximity to a food market, where tourists took great pleasure in feeding his food addiction and reduced the need for Fatty to forage and burn off calories. Although most macaques are small, agile, and never reach past 20 pounds, this massive macaque tips the scales at an astonishing 60 pounds. The steady stream of effortless food and tourist snacks has earned this king-size animal a king-size tummy, as well as a minor celebrity status throughout Bangkok. Sadly, Uncle Fatty hasn't been seen or heard from since 2019 and is feared to be dead. Number 7. Patrick the Wombat. Patrick is here officially the oldest and biggest, cutest and cuddliest common wombat known to humanity. All of that has made this guinea pig looking wombat become a much sought celebrity in the animal kingdom. While the usual weight of an adult wombat reaches no more than 44 pounds, Patrick weighed as much as 88 pounds during his heyday. Also, Patrick may have managed to live up to 31 years, a decade more than wombats were known to live up in captivity. What's even more surprising is that Patrick, the wombat, has its own Facebook account which has up to 65,000 followers. His page listed his personal interests as riding in his wheelbarrow, cuddling, and eating freshly picked grass. The soft, chubby creature was finally put to sleep in 2017 at the Ballarat Wildlife Park in the southeast Australian state of Victoria, after having been featured in several TV shows in 2017, leaving many of its fans sad. Number 6. Rat. Firefighters are heroes, no doubt about that. They wake up every morning and report to work, ready to save lives, and never know what the day has in store for them. Well, over in Germany, firefighters woke up to a different kind of rescue on this particular day. A call came in that a large, fat rat had become lodged in a sewer cover. Yeah, you heard that right. If it were you that someone had called to save a stuck rat, you'd most likely just have hung up the phone. Not these German firefighters, though, who promptly arrived at the scene and sorted the situation out. The rodent appeared to be several times larger than an average rat due to its winter coat, and therefore became wedged in a small hole halfway in and halfway out, with nowhere to go. The firefighters flipped open the entire sewer's cover, and with the help of the animal rescuers, freed the rat, releasing him back into the wilderness after about just 30 minutes. Number 5. Poncho the Sea Lion. From a portion of Cabo San Lucas, which is famous for tuna mahi and marlin fishing, Poncho the Sea Lion is a local legend. He often feeds from the scraps of fishermen from the docks and is also known to be the lord of all the sea woofers. Poncho is famous for taking prize fish for himself and has also been known to sneak behind fishermen posturing for a photo op after catching fish and literally snatching the captured fish right out of their hands. Not only does he feed off scraps, he willingly takes freebies from the local fishermen. All this helped fuel his exponential weight gain. Poncho has been known to actually hitch a ride into fishermen's boats looking for food, which explains why he weighs over 1,000 pounds, 300 pounds more than an average sea lion of his age. Even with locals being threatened with jail time whenever they feed Poncho, he keeps finding ways to free meals as his size keeps getting exponentially bigger. If you go fishing in the area and Poncho decides to drag away your harvest, there's nothing you could ever do. Number 4. Arbuckle the Hedgehog. When this hedgehog was found by an animal lover, he was way too thin for hibernation, so they decided to feed him with lots of dog food. However, they did go a bit too far as the hedgehog got so fat that he can no longer roll into a ball like most hedgehogs do. The Newark Rescue Centre near Ellon, Scotland, has taken charge of it by putting him on a strict diet and exercise regime to get him down to a more favorable weight. The 2.2 kilogram animal is about 3 times the regular size of hedgehogs and bears names such as Hogzilla and Arbuckle. People at the animal rescue cannot believe the size of this animal. Up until that moment, the biggest one ever seen was a 1.1 kilogram hedgehog, and that was because she was pregnant. But Arbuckle the hedgehog was just large due to an imbalanced diet. The Animal Care Center is looking at helping the hedgehog shed about 1.5 kilos of its weight before sending him back into the wild. Number 3. Squirrel from California. Tell me something. What happens when tourists spot squirrels? They feed them, of course, but sometimes they take this just a little too far. This is what happened to this Californian squirrel that reached twice its size after being repeatedly fed by tourists. And even after gaining that much weight, tourists only kept feeding the animal because humans are just that way. Marina van der Linden is the person behind this fat squirrel's famous photo, which she spotted during a visit to the Morro Rock State Preserve in Santa Barbara, California. Although the squirrels at that zoo were all strangely fat, this particular obese squirrel stood out amongst its peers. It was so big that when Marina tried to take its picture, the animal couldn't fit in the picture like all other squirrels in its environment did. The photographer had to slightly move backward to be able to get the whole squirrel, which just goes to show how obese the squirrel really was. Number 2. The Siberian Super Tubby Tigers. These Siberian tigers give the phrase fat cat a whole new meaning, and it's not hard to see why at first glance. The obese beasts that live at Shenyang Guapo Siberian Tiger Park in China have been dubbed the Tubby Tigers due to their immense size. After photos of the tigers began popping up online, they soon spread like wildfire, with their pictures appearing on every news outlet. Memes, message boards, text message, you name it, and they were on it. After all the laughs and excitement were over, though, the public outrage began. Some concerned citizens and animal welfare groups who had seen photos of the extra-sized tigers decried the development based on the belief that these obese tigers were unhealthy, overweight, and endangered. With the belief that the weight gain was due to a lack of exercise and overeating, officials at the Chinese zoo in Harbin were called to step in. The officials assured the public that the tigers are in fact very healthy, and their weight gain is natural as it helps them stay warm during the cold Chinese winters. Number 1. Oshine, the fat orangutan. Now, this is a story about how Oshine's life got turned and flipped upside down due to a sedentary and uncommon lifestyle. Take a minute and just sit right there while I tell you about this sweets, jelly, and burger-eating animal. Well, her owners thought it was a good idea to feed the orangutan with junk food in order to always keep her calm, which explains how she turned into an overweight animal. At 220 pounds, 100 kilograms, this orangutan is twice the size it's supposed to be. The owners finally realized that they could not offer Oshine a healthy lifestyle in that way. Therefore, they opted for giving her to an animal care center in the UK, where she was only fed nutritious foods needed for a better life. The strict diet includes lots of fruits, vegetables, and lean meats.